Hey everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to draw 3 cats and some plants. If you've been following along on my channel, you know that I will have a sketch available for you to download on my website, so you can either trace the drawing or you can join along and draw with me. I'm going to draw and paint 3 cats with some plants. If you think of cats in terms of circles and triangles, they become much easier to draw. This little guy sitting up, I drew kind of like a snowman. You know, you've got the circle on top, the oval on bottom, and those 2 triangles for the ears. Once you map out the general shape, you can adjust it as you go. I simply am going to fill in his eyes with a little arch for the eyes and dots for the eyeballs. I'm not even worrying about making these perfect cat eyes. I do a little triangle for the nose, and then I'm just adjusting it slightly before I move on. Remember, the simpler you draw, the easier it is to make adjustments later on after you've sketched everything out. Once I'm done the first cat, I want to move on to the next one, and he's going to be kind of sitting there, peeking behind the first cat sitting. So I'm drawing like a wide circle and just sort of playing around where his arms might be. Again, just mapping in the triangles and then kind of doing another oval, but it's kind of cut off behind this cat that's sitting up straight. This guy's going to be a tabby cat, so I map in a few little lines on his head. And I also, one of the things you can do with cats where their nose is create a little fluff around the nose. So that's where you see the curved lines around the nose and just a little bit of fur in the ears. I'm just playing around there and then going to draw his arms. Don't worry about perfection, because once we color this in, it's all going to come together. So I'm drawing kind of like almost like little arms for him, where he's kind of, like I said, laying behind the one standing up. So you see his little paws resting in front. For the third cat, this one is going to be sleeping. It's similar to the second one we drew, but the head is tilted a little bit, and you don't even have to worry about the eyes because they're going to be like little half moons, because her eyes are going to be closed. I'm really just doing a circle that's going to encompass, that's going to be her whole body as a circle, because you know how cats like to sleep almost in a circle. And then I've got her tail there. So she's the easiest one to draw. And I decided as I was drawing this that they're all going to be sitting on a table and there's going to be a bunch of plants behind them. So I'm mapping in her sort of crescent moon eyes. She's sleeping. And then I'm going to jump into mapping in some plants. When it comes to drawing plants, all I'm doing here, I don't have a specific plant in mind. I'm just drawing some leaves behind the kitty that's sitting up, and I don't have any specific plant in mind. I just thought some greenery would be nice. I know my cats love to just jump up and hang out with any plants that I have, so I thought I'd pop that in there. After I draw this plant, I'm going to draw a cactus and then just another, almost like daisies. And if you watch my videos, I'll try to include within this video links to videos on how to draw plants. I'm not sure if I did one on cactus, but I love drawing a cactus plant. So that's what I'm doing here. And this is just circles. That's it. Circles. And some of them will have a flower on top because sometimes like a cactus will have flowers. So you'll see me sort of map that in there. It gets really fun when we color this in. For coloring this particular painting, I actually used food coloring and gouache. So I love the bright shades that food coloring offer on paper. This is a mixed media paper by Artist Loft. I love the way this mixed media paper works with any medium, and it's really, really a great cost. So it's Artist Loft mixed media paper, and I'm actually using food coloring right now, just yellow food coloring to sort of block in the colors. I definitely like a lot of primary colors and bright colors, and I'm really working on not overdoing it. There's something really pretty about almost the childlike bright and cheery colors that food coloring has. So I also use gouache, but everything you're seeing at the beginning is food coloring. Once you paint in the main colors, so for the leaves and the cactus, I paint a light green. You can add like a darker green to half of it to create sort of a shadow on each leaf or each part of the cactus. It just adds something to it. Also on the cactus, I end up drawing like little dots on it because this type of cactus, and I don't know what kind it is, it has these little dots on it. It just makes it fun. It's really easy to do, and it ends up looking really good. So I'm adding a collar to the cat in the middle, but the other two, I'm not doing that. I just like the way it brought the colors together with the pots, so I thought he'd have a collar. I decided to keep my cat simple. So I like that gray cat. I don't do too much else with this gray cat other than darken up his eyes and his nose. And this center cat, I almost leave completely white, but I want him to be a tabby, so I add a little bit of that tabby color. I felt like with the cat on the right, the orange one, I ended up overdoing him a little bit, so I was cautious with the other two. And that's something I'm always working on, is almost like stepping back and not doing so much, keeping it simple. And maybe that's why I like these bright and cheery colors. I chose a really nice turquoise color or tealy, color, bluish green for the table. You can make it whatever color you want, but I just thought it anchored the entire drawing. At the end, I end up adding a little bit of white to everything to sort of create some depth to the drawing and have little parts stand out. But again, this is really simple and just all about adding your colors in there and not overdoing it. For the final part of the painting, I'm outlining certain pieces of each element in black so that it pops. I want the cat's eyes to pop and the outline of the cats and also the outline of some of the flowers and leaves. These flowers are my absolute favorite. I just love how pretty they look and how simple they are to do. The cactus was really easy too. I'd love to hear from you if you found these plants easy to do. I am just giving them a final outlining before I call it a day with these, but I really, really love how this turned out. I'd love to hear how it turned out from you. Leave me a comment and let me know if you gave this a try and how it went for you. I'd love to hear from you. This is the final drawing. I had so much fun doing it, especially with the food coloring. I always love to go back to something simple as food coloring. I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy sketching.